Welcome to the Midlife Crisis. I want to talk today about the importance of the mirror. What do I mean when I say the importance of the mirror? And I apologize if I've recorded something like this before, but I want to talk about the importance of the mirror. A mirror is a reflective surface that you use to make sure that you can see what you look like, so you can stare at what's looking back at you. And I admit I use mirrors quite often, both literally and figuratively. And that's why I want to talk about the importance of the mirror, because the mirror is very freaking important. When I was actively drinking still, 432 days sober today, by the way. But when I was actively drinking still, I had to look in the mirror. I had to see that my behavior was really affecting more things in my life than I realized. It was affecting my relationship with my children. It was affecting my relationship with my family. It was affecting my relationship with my fiance. It was affecting a lot of things. You know, when I didn't look in the mirror, I thought everything was okay. I thought I had everything under control. When I looked in the mirror, I found out that I had lost, some 35 pounds. I had become a lot more, ornery. I was absent-minded in a lot of situations. I just, to repeat what my son said about me, I just wasn't myself. I was an empty shell. And if it wasn't for me being able to look in the mirror, I wouldn't have found that out. Also, looking in the mirror, I noticed that for a time, I had man boobs. I can say that now because I don't have them, even though I need to get back on my workout grind because I see the resurgence trying to come up again. But still, again, the importance of the mirror, because I can look in the mirror and I can see myself looking a little bit more chubby than I'm used to, looking a little bit more soft and jiggly than I'm used to. So that mirror is very important. I say that because I like to put myself out there before I point the finger at anybody else, because I'm not preaching. I'm guilty of a lot of the things. And again, looking in the mirror helped me to see that I'm guilty of a lot of these things, so I correct them. And I guess that's the point of, that's the main importance that I'm trying to point to today. When you look in the mirror, you get a chance not only to see yourself, but once you see yourself, once you're exposed, you also get a chance to fix it. And I think that is a notion that is lost in today's time. I'm not going to say on today's generation because it doesn't really seem to matter. Young, old, man, woman, fat, skinny, rich, poor. It affects everybody. Nowadays, people don't want to look in the mirror. What we want to do is look at everybody else and make everybody else accountable for the things that we're going through personally or internally. What do I mean when I say that? For example, you identify as a woman, although you have been born as a biological male. But instead of you saying or feeling that you have to go around and explain this to people, I'm thinking back to a video that I saw online of this person who wants to be identified as a woman, who was born as a male, who looks like they didn't, and I stress that, they look like they didn't get the operation or the medications yet. Voice is pretty similar to mine, nice and deep. No facial hair though, but you would definitely, I'm not going to say you, the average individual would look at this person and think to themselves, that's a man. However, this individual likes to dress in female clothing, but this individual also goes around and films themselves going to different restaurants and different establishments, and as soon as somebody addresses them very politely as yes sir, this person gets offended. I'm a female, and that's like a dagger to me every time somebody misgenders me. I'm sorry, sir. Let's evaluate some things. And yes, I did just say sir, because let's evaluate some things. If I'm calling you sir, I am at least attempting to refer to you with some measure of respect. Nobody's saying, yeah, bitch. Well, yeah, motherfucker. Yes, sir. We're trying to be cordial, polite, and respectful to you in that moment. However, please be advised that there are people on this planet right now that identify as whatever they want. There are people like RuPaul, who is clearly still a man, who still wants to be referred to as a man, but is a man that dresses up in drag, and that individual looks fabulous in drag. I have to give credit where credit is due. I am not gay in any way, shape, or form. I identify as a male, not a cisgender male, a male. I'm old school. When I have a penis, I'm a man. That's how we were born. That's how we're gonna stay. Okay? But that's just my personal view. You have people out there like me. You have the female equivalent of me. They were born with a vagina, so therefore they are women. You have people that were born with a penis that like to still be considered men that dress up as women. You have people that were born with a penis that dress up as women that want to be identified as women. You have people that were born with a penis that have had the operation to remove it and take medication that now want to be identified as women. You have people who are born with either one of the genitalia that identify as queer. It's so many different identifications for people, so many different pronouns that people can give out or that they claim for themselves. How am I supposed to know at any given time what your pronoun is if I just met you? Why is it that I don't get credit for at least trying to approach you with some respect before you say, oh, you're offended and I've misgendered you? No, I didn't. You don't look like a woman. You look like a man with lipstick on. That's not my fault. I have eyes. That's not a fault, but if there was a fault to be assigned, that's on you. You chose to walk out of the house dressed like that today. You chose not to get whatever operations and surgeries to make you look a certain way. You chose not to use even the makeup, and I say it's a choice because, again, people like RuPaul exist. I'm not a fan of RuPaul's Drag Race because I'm just not into that lifestyle. It's nothing against it. Do you? But if you ever watch one of them shows, see some clips on YouTube, oh my God, like, I'm so glad I'm not single anymore, because if I was on the street, some of these people are going to get picked up and, hey, sweetie, how you doing? I didn't know. Oh, God, I didn't know. But, you know, it happens. So you can't expect anybody on the street to automatically know what's happening with you internally. We don't know these things. It's up to you to have to explain that, and it's up to you to wear that badge. This is what you're choosing to be, so be it. That's what you're doing. You can't look at a person and know that they're a phenomenal chef. They have to wear the badge. They have to wear the chef's jacket or the hat or anything like that to let you know, yes, I am a chef. You can't, that chef can't be upset because you walk to them and refer to them as sir. I have a person who actually comes to my establishment, my place of business, and gets upset every time somebody doesn't call him doctor. I'm sorry, sir, what do doctors look like? No one knew that you were a doctor until I'm not walking around with the bio. This ain't Grand Theft Auto where I can put on some glasses and see, everything about your history. I don't know these things. So why are you upset that somebody calls you Mr. as opposed to doctor? Again, in this situation, we're trying to approach you with some level of respect. So why not acknowledge that and just be like, I appreciate it. It's doctor. Okay, cool. That's how you want to be referred to? No problem. Now, if I do it afterwards, I'm being a dick. And if I'm being a dick, then you get to call me out for being a dick. I'm not trying to be unrealistic, but upon meeting you, I'm misgendering you. I'm disrespecting you because I didn't know you were a doctor. Come on now, we got to stop that type of stuff. We have to stop it as a society. Nobody knows what's happening with you. No one knows the previous traumas and things like that you've experienced in your life or the things that you're sensitive to. So you have to give some people some leeway and understand that not everybody is coming at you just because they offended you or because you got offended by something that they did or said. We don't know. So do you really think that the person who said something to you that you got offended by was actively trying to do something negative to you? Do you think that this person was actively trying to tear you down a couple of notches just by saying this possibly innocuous statement, this plain term, this statement of fact. Like, people need to understand very quickly, there's a difference in between someone actually attacking you and someone saying something that's true. If you go to the bathroom and take a dump, more than likely you stink. I'm not attacking you by saying you stink. Guess what? You stink. If you ask me how you smell, I'm going to tell you honestly, you stink. If I walk into the bathroom after you, even if you didn't ask me, I'm gonna be like, oh my God, you stink. I'm not attacking you. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. Now, does anybody feel good about stinking? Probably not. Is it a happy statement to make for everybody? Probably not. But it's just a statement of fact. Guess what? If you don't want people to say that you stink or to know that you stink, maybe you should use a bathroom at home. Maybe you should take some air freshener with you. Maybe you should light a match wherever you go. I don't know. But if you're so sensitive to the fact that you took a dump and you stink, you need to handle that. It's not for society to be like, oh, you all shouldn't say those things, or you all shouldn't be able to comment on stuff like that. That's negative, and so on and so forth. So what? Yes, it is negative. We're adults. Even if you're not adults, you're a kid, I don't care. Certain negative things are going to happen in your life, and if the person is just making a statement, leave it alone. Now, same scenario. You take a dump in the bathroom and somebody's like, oh, you dirty ass motherfucker. Ugh, you stink, you smell like shit. You know, you shouldn't be walking the face of this planet because you smell like monkey balls or something like that. Then okay, that person is actually trying to, you know, make jokes at your expense, trying to tear you down a couple of notches, trying to make you feel a certain way for being funky. I got that. You know what I'm saying? They're being loud, they're being boisterous with it, so on and so forth. I got that. Yeah, you can say that that person right there is trying to you know, be negative towards you and is trying to get some type of a reaction out of you by saying that you stink. Is that person still stating a fact? Yes, but that person is adding on to it more so than just merely making a statement. I understand you having an issue with that person. It might make you feel the same way as somebody else just simply saying you stink, but it is what it is. You stink. You the one that went to the bathroom. You're the one that had that Chipotle before you went in there. No offense to Chipotle. But you're the one that did that. You bust ass. Guess what? You kind of funky. It happens. Everybody does it. So, I mean, if you're particularly sensitive to those things, understand that's on you. That's not on anybody else but you. And no one else should be responsible for that. You know, if I'm being perfectly honest, I'm tall. And everybody that I walk past, perfect strangers can be in a grocery store. Excuse me, sir, can you grab this for me? People walk up to me in the street. If I had your height, I'd be doing this and that and another thing. You know, if I was your size, I'd be doing this and that and another thing. You want to know something? It's annoying. It's annoying. The number one question that I get for being my height is, oh, did you play ball? You play ball? No, I don't play ball. I do something totally different than playing basketball. And it used to annoy the shit out of me when people would say that all the time. But you know what? Guess what? I'm tall. And guess what? Most people aren't tall. So when they see somebody who's my height, they want to know these things because they probably don't play basketball. They probably can't reach things on the top shelf and would really like to. They don't know the hardships of being tall. And I know people are like, hardships of being tall? What the hell does he mean? But yeah, I have to buy clothes specifically to fit me. I can't buy things off the rack in many stores. Long sleeve shirts? You can forget it. I have arms like a freaking octopus. There's not any way, shape, or form that I can usually buy something off the rack. And when I find that the one or two stores where I can, I have to patronize them. Like, I stay there, period. If not, I have to factor in extra money for tailors and everything else. Because not only am I tall, but I'm, I guess, oddly shaped. And I'm not even gonna say oddly shaped, but for whatever reason, in big and tall stores, if you're tall, you have to be fat. Like, you can't find tall clothes with a smaller waist for some reason. You can't have wider shoulders like I do without having a wide belly. Like, that just doesn't make sense. Like, if I buy a 52-inch suit, then the pants are 48 inches. I'm not that damn big. So now I gotta mix and match stuff on the rack, or I gotta immediately, like I said, go to the tailor to get my stuff adjusted so it actually fits. So I'm paying extra money for stuff being tall. A regular average sized person doesn't know that. And they shouldn't know that. Why should they know that? They're not my height. So why should I be getting offended because that's just what they're asking? It's normal to them. Oh my God, I'm seeing somebody who's taller than anybody I've ever seen before. You know, most tall people that I know play basketball, or most tall people that I've seen play basketball. Tom Cruise, you're not asking him if he plays basketball. But as a famous person, that's probably the only other famous people that you're going to be exposed to. Anybody else that's tall, guess what they do? LeBron, Zaire Williamson, you know what I'm saying? Luka Doncic, y'all play ball. It happens. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if I hear this with fat people all the time. You know, because I'm fat, you think I eat a lot. Well, yeah, because if I eat a lot, I'm going to get fat. I've never been in your body. I don't know that you may have a thyroid issue. I don't know that there may be a chemical imbalance in your system that helps you to pack on weight every time you eat something. I don't know that, you know, you're susceptible to gluten or whatever the fuck it is, or sugar, and as soon as you get a gram of it or whatever, it blows you up like the Pillsbury Doughboy. I don't know these things. So why are you expecting me to know these things? Why are you looking at me as though it's so out of the way to assume that a fat person eats a lot? Now, you might feel like that's insensitive to you, and in a certain degree, it may be. If I knew that that was the condition and that's what you were going through, then yeah, I would definitely say I'm being insensitive. But I'm not trying to be insensitive. It makes sense. If I see a four-legged creature on the street with its tail wagging on a leash, I'm going to assume it barks. Especially if they call that four-legged creature a dog. I'm going to assume that it barks. Now, could it meow? Of course it could. Could the four-legged creature be a pig? Of course it can be. But 9 times out of 10, when I just said that, most of the people knew I was talking about a dog. Do some people have pet pigs? Yes. Do some people walk their cats? Yes. Some people walk their fucking lizards. I have no idea how that works. But for the most part, guess what you're doing? You're walking a dog. So folks, look in the mirror. And I mean that. When you look at Instagram and buy that Fashion Nova set and you think it's cute, yeah, it's cute as shit on that model. If you aren't built like that model, that outfit is not going to look the same to you, on you. It's just not. And just because you found it in your size and it fits does not mean you look like that model. Doesn't happen. Newsflash, if you don't work out, you probably can't fight. Even if you do work out, doesn't mean that you can fight, but I'll tell you this, somebody who's in shape is probably going to last a little bit longer in that fisticuffs than somebody who doesn't. So stop talking trash. Stop being out there like, oh, I beat that bitch ass and so on and so on. No, you won't. You'll argue with her. That's what you'll do. If she swings on you, you'll more than likely swing back. That's cool. You know, but are you out there fighting? Are you out there knocking motherfuckers out? No, you're not. Because you don't train that. And it's okay. So stop talking like you do and just accept your shortfalls. That's not something that you do. That's not something that you're into. And you don't have to be. You know, if you got all of your lessons, you know, as far as being in the kitchen from Uncle Schmitty, you might be able to cook. But stop talking like you're a 5-star chef. Come on, bro. You ain't got no Michelin stars. You figuring this out just like the rest of us. You went to YouTube and got some tips just like we did. You using a barbecue rub just like we are. You not going and sourcing your spices from the fucking garden in your backyard. You went to Lowe's or Walmart and got that barbecue rub in that bottle and you shaking it on everything you fucking got. And people are like, oh my God, it's delicious. Yeah, the barbecue rub is fucking delicious. It's not what you did, it's what's in that bottle. So, and it's okay. Like, look in the mirror and just accept who you are for what you are. And that means positive and negative things. If you got some shortcomings, newsflash, people, everybody does. We all have some things that we need to work on. We all have some things that we can improve. Nobody's perfect, and we shouldn't be expected to be. But when you find your shortcoming, when you find that thing that you need to work on, don't hide from it. Don't run from it. Don't think that the United States of America should ignore the fact that you're going through it. No, be proud of it. Yeah, I have a problem. Just like I started off with this video. I used to drink like a fucking fish. I had a problem. And now I'm 432 days sober. I don't have that problem no more. I'm looking toward the 433, 434, and 435. And hopefully I can multiply that number by 10 by the time I'm dead. I didn't do the math, so I don't know how long that is. Like I said, I want to live for a long time, but still, you know, I had a problem and it was embarrassing. to say that and to talk about that. It doesn't necessarily feel good, but guess what? I did it. And guess what? I'm on the other side of it. So it can happen. You may not even like the situation that you're in right now. You may not be able to run the mile that you want to run, or climb the mountain that you want to climb, or get the girl that you want to get, or get the job that you want to get. It happens. But claim that shit and stop holding other people accountable for it. That's you. You need to hold yourself accountable and then do the work to get the things that you want. Look in the mirror, folks. That's the value of it.